Humankind has long lived off the bounties of the sea. To keep benefiting from these aquatic resources in a sustainable way, we must consider the scale and speed of Mother Nature's reproductive cycle to enable marine life to repopulate the sea. Without this, we may soon be unable to catch any more of the fish we have long consumed. Fishery resources are being significantly impacted by overfishing and the destruction of ocean habitats. Growing global demand for fish has brought fisheries production to record volumes. It is said that 1/3 of fish stocks are already overfished, resulting in unsustainable use. Meanwhile, the sustainable use of fishery resources is growing ever important. Fishery resource management is now being seen as a challenge for the international community. What must we do now to pass the rich bounties of the sea on to future generations? Japan offers an example. Western Wakayama Prefecture, on the Seto Inland Sea, is some 450 kilometers west of Tokyo. Since ancient times, the people along the coast have had a close, year-round relationship with the diverse fishery resources here in the waters of the Kittan Strait. One example is the Kada area. Just over 6,000 people live in this fishing town. Mr. Yui makes a living fishing here. One with the sea for many years, he prefers using traditional drop-line fishing to catch sea bream. This and other traditional fishing methods have long been the norm in Kada. Their small environmental impact has recently drawn praise and attention.
今時こんな更新的な漁法でやってんだけど、それがやっぱり一番自然にとったら一番優しい。まあkada時代これ全部がそこが養殖場って考えて、まあ一番養殖場って考えて僕を守ってたら、大きな魚だけ間引いてたら僕らはご飯食べていけるって、まあ、考えたら一番最新的な最新の漁法かいなと思ってます。
The irregular and indented coastline offers good natural harbors, and the prefecture has 94 fishing ports. The fisheries sector in this region is highly diversified. Even towns near Kada use entirely different fishing methods, and different types of fish are caught. This is not unique to the area. Each region in Japan has a diverse mix of fisheries that catch a variety of fish. However, the establishment of strict local rules in each area has enabled the coexistence of diverse fisheries and the sustainable use of fishery resources. Japan has long utilized fishery resources. However, as populations grew about 400 years ago, conflict between fishers often erupted over access to fish. Fundamental principles governing the use of the sea were therefore established to encourage the harmonious use of resources. That is, coastal waters are secured for local communities for their exclusive use, while offshore waters are open to all. This long-standing custom was institutionalized in modern times and incorporated in the legal framework of the Fisheries Act. Such fishing rights are generally referred to as territorial use rights for fishing, or TURF. In Japan, fishing rights are not granted to individual fishers, but rather to local fishers' organizations. Under the Fisheries Act, only the members of local fishers' organizations are permitted to fish in coastal fishing grounds. Restriction of access by outside fishers prevents needless races to catch fish before anyone else. This fosters a sense of ownership of resources and cooperation among local communities in the protection of resources. The organizations of local fishers later developed into fisheries cooperative associations, or FCAs. They play a vital role in managing Japan's coastal fishery resources. Kada in Wakayama Prefecture is well known for the production of high-quality sea bream. The Fisheries Cooperative Association here was established around 1950. Members now consist of about 90 fishers. Mr. Yui, who is a dropline fisher, is president of the Kada FCA.
Ah, 昔はもっと釣りる方法は今よりも劣ってたんですけども、もっと釣れましたね。
Fisheries in Japan are largely categorized into licensed fisheries and rights-based fisheries. Licensed fisheries are relatively large offshore commercial operations. Fishing permits are overseen by either local or central governments. This scheme is applied to such fisheries as tuna, skipjack, and snow crab fishing. In rights-based fisheries, fishing rights are granted by local governments to relatively small coastal fishing operators. Since a wide variety of fishing methods are used in coastal waters, a zoning plan is formulated, with 3 types of rights demarcating the fishing areas. A common fishing right is a form of turf that is set within 3 kilometers offshore. It allows small-scale fishing methods. A set net fishing right is the right to occupy a certain area to install large set nets. A demarcated fishing zone right allows the placement of aquaculture facilities within coastal waters. What's more, Japan's fisheries cooperatives also write their own local rules and regulations. The CADA FCA has established a number of rules and manages fishery resources to ensure that the sea's bounty is passed on to future generations.
まず第一に稚魚の放流とで休漁日を決めて一の休みの時は休んで決めてます。でその以外は出漁せずに海を休めてます。いろんな意見あるけどもやっぱりもう1年に1回みんな組合の代表集まってやっぱりこう魚の希少価値を上げてやっぱりちょっとで起き合ったやつを取るとかそんなんも決めてやってます。はい。
The local regulations of FCAs are based on the agreement of fishers and therefore well suited to local circumstances. This makes it easier for fishers to keep complying with the regulations. Japan currently has a total of about 960 FCAs. FCA operations are governed by elected board members, and important decisions are made at General Assembly meetings. FCAs also employ their own permanent staff to run various businesses. The FCAs take voluntary actions to preserve resources, maintain fishing grounds, and increase fish stocks. Mr. Okawa is the managing director of the CADA FCA. He has taken much action.
どういうふうに魚を残して取れるか、それが一番課題やと思います。
This cooperative is working proactively to create productive fishing grounds by releasing juvenile fish and placing artificial reefs as fish nursery areas.
一番最初魚礁をやりかけた時は魚はつくんやけどもその刺し網とかタコツボの操業の邪魔になると。こんなとこやられたらタコツボ上がってけえへんやないかと。魚礁を掘り込んだらと魚つくということだけしか頭になかったんでどのぐらいの重さの魚礁がええんやとかどのぐらいの規模の魚礁がええんやとか自分らの漁場は自分らで作っていかんとあかんなという意識は向上してきました。
The cooperative also helps plant trees to protect upstream forests, which are essential sources of nutrients for marine ecosystems. The role of FCAs also includes coordination with recreational fishers and surveillance of illegal fishing. A recent important role has been to inform the public of the value of the CADA Sea and its products. The CADA FCA has also placed emphasis on working with other players in the area to stimulate the local economy.
同じCADA盛り上げるのに観光協会は観光協会で別にまた自治会は自治会でまた別に行動すると組合組合で別に行動するそれではあかんやないかと、最初は休みの日に朝から出てきてで愚痴ばかり言ってたんやけどもだんだん意識向上してきてお客さんと会話しながらこんな料理の仕方もあるんですよとか自分らが取ってきた魚をこうやってやって料理して売れるんやでという意識向上が大きかったです。
The FCAs in Japan run various businesses for the socio-economic well-being of their members. The FCA's main business is marketing the fish and fishery products produced by its members. The collective purchase of fishing materials is another important function of FCAs. Guidance is also provided on resource management, fishing method improvement, and safety at sea. One of the unique functions of the FCAs is to offer credit and mutual insurance services. CADA and other FCAs in Japan establish local fishing rules for the orderly use of coastal resources. They play a central role in supporting the livelihoods of fishers and their communities. A unique characteristic of fishery resources is that while in the water, they belong to no one, only becoming someone's property once they are caught. If left unregulated, someone will catch the fish left behind by responsible fishers. A race to be the first to catch the fish will ensue, easily leading to overfishing. That is why resource management should be in place to prevent overfishing and to preserve and restore resources. Under a conventional fishery resource management system, the National Fisheries Agency carries out stock assessment and uses it to formulate resource management plans. It is a top-down system that unilaterally imposes rules and regulations on fishers. Fishing regulations, such as long-term fishing bans, formulated only from the perspective of resource management, often result in a heavy burden on fishers. Centralized regulations may also be unsuitable to local circumstances. And if some start breaking rules, fishers engaging earnestly in resource management would be at a disadvantage, reducing their motivation to comply. Regulations would gradually lose force. Their effectiveness and sustainability would be limited so long as voluntary compliance is sought of fishers, who compete to catch fish before anyone else. In a fisheries co-management system, management authority is delegated to local governments, which are more familiar with actual fisheries activities on the ground. In this system, local governments, fisheries research stations, and FCAs work together to find adequate management solutions. The local government develops resource management policies and approves the regulations proposed by the FCAs. It also provides financial and technical support and lays the foundation of local fisheries operations. The local government's fisheries research stations play a role in providing scientific information on fishery resources. They conduct stock assessment, make recommendations on management measures, and monitor their impact. And the FCAs are central to the co-management of fisheries. They share the views of fishers and work to ensure that the interests of local fishers are reflected in the rules and regulations. The FCAs also work to build awareness among fishers for better compliance with resource management measures. This co-management system is beneficial to both the local authorities and fishers. Fishers develop a greater sense of responsibility toward resource management and play a proactive role. Meanwhile, the authorities can secure effective management measures with less manpower and budget. This system is thought especially applicable to developing countries, with their diverse fisheries sectors and limited administrative resources. (1,700 kilometers southwest of Tokyo is Kumejima, westernmost of the Okinawa Islands. The island is surrounded by fringing reefs. Calm inshore waters are known locally as Ino. These waters were once threatened by overfishing.
イノはですね、今海の畑って言われて、ものすごい魚とかそう産卵しに来る場所なんですよね。昔はサンゴもものすごい綺麗で、子供たちがもうワイワイ遊んでもいい場所で海藻もいっぱいあったし。
So says Mr. Nakayoshi, who makes his living here off of seaweed farming and fishing. However, the Ino underwent change from around 2010. The demand for sea cucumber, highly prized in Chinese fine dining, soared and prices skyrocketed.
ですね、ナムコとかは年配の方々がちょこちょこ取っていたものがあってですね。で、7年8年ぐらい前ですかね、ナムコが大ブームになって、でものすごい乱獲が始まったんですよ。
Sea cucumbers, often called black diamonds, completely changed fisheries in the Ino. Sea cucumbers are easy to harvest at low tide. Huge amounts were harvested as an instant source of income. The local authorities overseeing fisheries in Okinawa were informed of the changes happening in sea cucumber fishery. Mr. Shiwa works at the Okinawa Prefectural Sea Farming Center. He was Kumejima's fisheries extension officer at the time.
平成22年の冬頃にですね、漁業者さんから私の方に連絡がありまして、最近そのナマコを中国の業者などから取りたいという話が来ていると、そのモズクの養殖や、魚に何か影響を及ぼすんじゃないか、海が変わってしまうんじゃないのかなという漁業者さんの、話がありまして、まず最初に漁協の方に、ここで一気に販売してしまうんではなくて、徐々に長く販売していった方がいいのではないか、資源管理をしようという話を、していました。
Fisheries extension officers work directly with the sector. They frequently visit fishers on site to maintain close communication. Their task involves reflecting the needs of fishers in policy and research, while also informing them of the latest policies and important research findings. Mr. Tabata heads the Kumejima FCA. He is a certified lead fisher who serves as a community leader of his peers. Certified lead fishers are experienced fishers appointed by the governor in recognition of their leading role in FCAs. They are well versed in fisheries, guide young fishers, and help improve fishing operations.
.ナマコに関してはやっぱ沖縄県もデータを持ってなかったらしくて、なのでまず規制するのが難しかったんですけど、ただ先輩方の言い伝えで、ね、やっぱ砂をきれいにするのがいなくなったら海がダメになるよと昔ね誰でも聞いたことあると思うんですけど、それを無視はできないので。
Respected by their peers, certified lead fishers help local fishers reach consensus and serve as a liaison with the authorities.
できればすぐストップかけたかったんですけど、大丈夫だよと。この売れる種類だけじゃなくて売れない種類のナマコもいるから大丈夫だよっていう意見もあったし、いろんなねやっぱ取りたいっていう意見も多々あったもんですから。
In co-management of fisheries, the interests of the authorities and fishers do not always align. In Japan, fisheries extension officers and certified lead fishers function as important links between the authorities and fishers groups to foster mutual understanding and build good relationships. At the suggestion of the extension officer, the Kumejima FCA decided to ban sea cucumber fishing for 8 months out of the year.
卵持ってるだろうっていう時期を禁漁したんです。とりあえずは。それでもやっぱり増えるのが遅すぎると。で、しかもちっちゃいのが見つかってれば、産卵してるねって確認できるんですけど、どんなナマコの血ナマコも見つからないんですよ。夜電灯をつけて潜ったりいろいろやったんですけど、
もっと長く禁漁はしたかったんですが、やはりそのナマコを取りたいという方の声がありまして、それでナマコをまた再び取る、禁漁解除をしてナマコをまた取ることに、そういうことを繰り返して。
As a result, the status of sea cucumber resources did not improve at all. The fall in harvest volume became increasingly serious. Mr. Shiwa worked with the Kumejima FCA to collect and analyze catch data on sea cucumbers.
毎月40個体ほどナマコを一緒に取って、生殖腺のサンプルを取ったりナマコの重量など基本的な情報を収集していきました。ナマコがどれだけ取れているかという情報も大変大事なところなんですけども、漁協がナマコを一元集荷している、そこでナマコがどれだけ取れ方かっていうデータがすぐに収集できるので、それを漁業者に、実際に数字で目で見せれることは大きかったと思います。
The survey results indicated the harsh reality. A ban of a few months a year has little impact on the recovery of stocks.
もう1年目で半分の量ですよ。でさらに4分の1の量になる、2年目で。それはもう1年目と比べたらだいぶ差があるんで、それでも他の仕事するよりこれがいいっていう人もいたんですけどね。
私たちもナマコを調べていく中で、これは1年とか2年で回復するようなものではないなというようなところがあってですね、このままそのいたずらに制限をかけ続けていっても 取る漁業者さんたちにも負担かけてしまいますし、
じゃあもうナマコを取る代わりになんか新しい、ね、産業ができればナマコ取らないでこの仕事をやってみないかっていうことで提案がありまして。
The fishers who had lost their income from sea cucumbers took the advice and began developing a new business, farming green laver seaweed.
細々と久米島の海で、小規模で網を張って、ヒトイグサを試験的に養殖することから始めてですね、またヒトイグサ養殖はいくつかやっている地域がありますので、そういうところに、漁業士さんたちと一緒に、視察をしに行きました。
Farming green laver is not easy because growth rates vary greatly depending on the reef environment.
何回も何回も視察して種付けの時期でまた見に行って、この辺でこうやってるとか全部その時期に見に行って、で初年度は良かったのかな。でよくてよしじゃあもう楽だって思って、そしたらもう次の年ダメで、なんでだろうってまたあっちこっち見に行って、向こうの漁師さんとも情報交換して、これをもう何年もやりながらじゃあ少しずつ改良して。
Many cooperative members worked together, keeping daily logs and overcoming challenges one by one. Production gradually became steadier. A green laver producers group was established to provide systemic support.
久米島の、漁業者はだいたい、天然もずくにしろ養殖もずくにしろマグロを釣って取ったりするやつでも部会に入らないと絶対ダメなんですよ。でそこを設立させて新たに。
Mr. Fukuzato was involved in sea cucumber stock assessment. He proactively promoted green laver farming as a staff member of the Kumejima FCA.
であと漁業権漁業権を取らないといけないので漁業申請出して、でここでやりますっていうのを作って、でそこで、始めてください、で誰がやりますかっていうのを募集をかけて、やってましたね。あとはもう加工場とも連携して品質向上ですね。一番そこが一番もうただ取ってきてもお金に買い切れなかったら元も子もないので、指導っていうかしながらみんなと相談して、その中に入って指導していくのが漁協の役目でした。
漁協の職員もですね、一緒に杭を打って網を張って、どういうふうにすれば売れるのかなということを話し合っていく中で、そういう漁協の姿勢とかこれからのことを一緒に考えてくれるということで、漁業者が漁業の方に集中できたということが大きいのかなと思います。何もない海だったんですけども、そこに網を張って久米島の海岸が変わるというんですかね、自分たちが網が張ったところが冬になると緑色の青々とした色になって、でそれでこのヒトイグサが20キロ一網から取れた時ですね、この時は嬉しかったです。
The success of green laver farming was a result of the hard work and cooperation of many people. With incomes in sight, Kumejima's fishers were able to embark on a total long-term ban of sea cucumber harvests. The ban is still in place after more than 5 years.
よかったよと。やっぱいなくなったら海はダメになるよっていうのが、あれで止めてたからよかったんだよって言ってくれる人の方が多いですね。たまにはそろそろナマコ大きくなってるからトラさんかっていう人もいるんですけどね、大きくなってるだけだよ、数増えてないよって
Taking on a new fishery challenge was what made the proper management of sea cucumber resources possible. Meanwhile, as the monitoring of sea cucumber resources continues, the prospect of resuming harvests in Kumejima still remains unknown. The co-management of fisheries is a joint effort between fishers groups and fisheries authorities. This arrangement has protected Japan's rich marine resources from overfishing. It is advantageous to authorities, which seek the sustainable use of fishery resources as a priority policy target. Fishers also benefit from it, as their voices are heard in decision-making. Management measures of their consent are also put in place. Both sides take a long-term view for the sustainable development of the fisheries sector and creation of a bright future for coming generations.
孫が男の子4人出るんで、そのうち誰がこう僕の後を継いで漁師になってくれたなって考えてます。まあそれが生きがいったおかげの生きがいですね。
その未来に向かってですね、一人一人が頑張れるような集団を作っていける、助けができるということは普及にしかできないことの一つなのかなと。
今の親父世代ですね、おじさん世代に「あ、昔みたいになったね」って言われたいです。僕なんかがだから今見ているよりさらに良くしないとそうはならないと思うんで、昔の人が見てた久米島のちょっと自然をね、いろいろねちょっと取り戻したいっていう。
To enable the seas to thrive again so that future generations can engage in fisheries with hope, we must now build on the wisdom and experiences of co-management of fisheries.